Hello guys, Aniso here, and in today's video we talk about Bane Elemental as a POS 5 hero. Bane is a really strong laner that also offers a lot of catch and control in teamfights. His spells will allow him to take out 2 enemy targets completely for around 6 to 7 seconds. This will make it really easy for your team to catch up and also makes him a great setup hero for other heroes such as Mirana and Patch for their arrows and hooks. Also, he doesn't rely on a lot of items and he's really easy to pick up, so he's a great beginner hero. Bane's first ability is called Enfeeble. It will reduce the attack damage of enemies by up to 60%, same for their health regen, and also increase the cast time of their spells by 30%. It is important to know that the spell affects additional damage and also the base damage. Always try to keep this onto the enemy carry to make him useless in teamfights. Bane's next ability is called Brain Sap. When you cast Brain Sap onto an enemy, he will get pure damage up to 300, and you will get healed for the same amount of damage as you do to the enemy. So this spell is really good for trading, especially early on in lane. This spell is the reason why Bane is probably one of the strongest lane supports in all of Dota right now. Your third spell is Nightmare. Nightmare will allow you to sleep enemy targets. Nightmare itself will deal damage per second, and you as Bane are allowed to attack the enemy while he's asleep. This is a really strong disable. If a Nightmare target gets attacked, he will wake up and the target that attacked him will get Nightmared instead. The Nightmare target will also take 0 damage in the first second. So you can also use Nightmare to save your allies out of sticky situations that they would otherwise not survive. Your ultimate Fiend's Grip will allow you to channel a disable onto enemies that will drain 5% of their mana and also deal 160 damage per second on max level. This is by far your strongest disable. It is very important to realize that this is BKB piercing, so you can grip targets even after they use BKB. Positioning is the key for using this ability. Once you're getting disabled, the grip will get cancelled and the enemies can move again. So pay close attention to how you position yourself before using this ability. For Bane's skill build, we want to take 2 points in Brain Sap as soon as possible. This is the best trading spell in lane, which will allow us to dominate early on. However, it is really important to notice that we don't want to max out Brain Sap. We want to max out Nightmare as soon as possible because this is the strongest spell in team fights. We can disable targets for longer, we gain more range, and most importantly, reduced cooldown. The second spell we want to max out is Enfeeble. Enfeeble will bring way more utility compared to Brain Sap that will only bring additional damage for us. Keep in mind we are a support. Our role is not to deal damage, but to bring utility for our team. So we will max Enfeeble second. For Bane's talents, the level 10 talent, you can usually choose between magic resistance and armor depending on what you need in the specific game. On level 15, usually you want to take the Brain Sap cooldown, but in some cases where the enemies need a lot of mana, you can also go for the grip mana drain. On level 20, we want to go for the Nightmare cooldown, because this is just the bread and butter spell of Bane. On level 25, we want to go for the grip duration always, especially when we build Aghanims. We want to start the game off with some regen, usually a Tango and a healing salve that we can use for ourselves and our carry. And then some trading items, usually being Stick, Fairy Fire and Mango. Obviously, if this is a really horrible stick lane that you're playing against, go for some more Tangos, Fairy Fires, whatever you need. Just get a lot of trading items early on. And for the early game, we want to get the Wind Lace and Arcane Boots. Positioning is key for Bane, that's why we're going for the Wind Lace and then Arcane Boots just so we can spam more spells. Once we start to get some gold, we will split our mana boots into an Ether Lance and then we build Tranquils for even more movement speed. This way we have more range to cast our spells. Afterwards, you usually want to try to build a dagger if possible. But in some games you might need like a Force Staff or a Glimmer Cape here. The next core item after Dagger or Force Staff Glimmer Cape is usually either Aghanims or BKB. If the enemies have a lot of cancels for your ultimate, go for BKB, otherwise go for the Aghanims. The Aghanims will make it harder for the enemies to stop your ultimate and also reduce the cooldown. If you play against illusion heroes or heroes with a lot of summons, you can consider getting an Aghanim's shard just for the AoE brain sip. If you're getting bursted down a lot, you can also go for an Neon Disc. You want to try to capitalize on the fact that Bane is a really strong hero on level 1, especially with his trading ability Brain Sap. Try to always get off some hits onto the enemies, trade a little bit of your HP and then use Brain Sap to get back the HP you've lost and win the trade. This way you can bully out enemies really easy early on. After winning the trades, you want to try to get off a half pull. This will ensure that you gain even more experience and gold advantage compared to the enemies. Be really careful about your carry. You don't want him to die while you're doing this. Enemies usually have a really hard time contesting Bane while pulling just because you're so strong at winning trades. If you die in lane, you always want to check out your mid laner for a bottle. If he has an empty bottle, try to TP there to refill his bottle. This is really lane winning for him. Always pay close attention to the position of your teammates when you want to set up kills on enemies. You don't want to waste your ultimate or nightmare onto enemies when there is none of your allied heroes in range to follow up. I see this happening a lot of the time on new Bane players. If possible, you want to make it very hard for enemies to cancel your ultimate. Usually you can achieve this by standing in trees out of vision from enemies or just onto high ground. If you just grab someone without paying attention to your position, your grip will just get cancelled right away all the time. Be consistent about buying Observer wards and Sentry wards. Vision is the key to play Bane. You can also place sentries onto low grounds and then use your courier to scout onto high grounds. This way you can deward larger areas. If possible, try to use your Nightmare and your ultimate onto the most valuable targets on the enemy team. In most games, this is their mid hero and their carry. Also pay attention to the rest of their team and which heroes are able to cancel your grip. Sometimes there's a key target in the enemy team that you have to Nightmare to get off your grip. Try to always think ahead of the situations. When picking Bane, try to look out for teammates that need any form of setup for their spells. For example, Patch and Mirana with Hook and Arrow, Exort Invoker with Sunstrike, or just general teamfight ultis such as Phoenix Egg and Snapfire that need any form of cover or setup. Also pay attention to the enemies picking any form of purge such as Legion Commander, Abaddon and Oracle. They can purge both your Nightmare and your ultimate, which is really annoying. And then also Silencer, who can just cast the ultimate and instantly cancel your grip even through BKB. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something. If you want to get more information in the future about other heroes and how to play them, please subscribe to my channel so you can always stay updated once I release new videos. Have a nice day, see you guys!